Writing to an audience. The key to successful writing. Audience is the most important thing when it comes to writing. Without an audience, there would be no need to write. In order to be successful at writing, you have to be more attentive to your audience. Let's do a hypothetical scenario, shall we? You need to write to an audience who loves dogs. Which would grab the attention of someone who loves dogs more? Free kittens or free puppies? Of course, free puppies. That would grab more attention from a person who loves canines. It seems simple enough, right? Well, just like you, your audience is more complex than that. If you're writing to people who didn't pick up after their dog, you would not use free puppies to grab their attention. You could technically, because, well, dog owners love dogs. But if you're only trying to grab their attention by advertising free puppies, and the real message is to pick up their waist, they would get upset and stop reading. You would lose your credibility as a writer, and no one will believe you in the end. So, it is best to prepare beforehand in order to write successfully. Any successful writing begins with asking yourself some questions. Who am I writing to? Why am I writing to them? How is the best way to deliver my information to them? What's important to them? What do they care least about? What will upset them? How do I prove my credibility? This is only but a short list, and there could be other factors to consider when writing to an audience. But if you can answer these, you will already be more successful with writing. Now, if what you're writing is an assignment for school, you have to consider your teacher or professor to be an audience. Usually the instructor will give you the assignment instructions and or the grading rubrics for the assignment. These will answer most, if not all, of the questions about your audience. This is why a writing tutor will ask for the instructions and or grading rubrics. Keep in mind that there will be a lot of times that an instructor will ask you to write something to a specific audience, apart from himself, herself, or themselves. And this audience may not always be specified by the instructor. The one piece of writing that will usually fit into this category is an argumentative essay. Anytime you are trying to create an argumentative essay, in which you are supposed to argue for or against a stance or solution, expect that your audience will be a person or a group of people who do not agree with your argument. Because there is no point in trying to convince someone who already agrees with you. I myself always imagine that the instructor does not agree with me, and write keeping in mind both the instructions for the assignment and the mindset of the opposition. Writing to an audience who does not agree with you can be a difficult challenge, but it does require an open mind. This is where credibility comes into play, because you don't want to ostracize or trigger your audience. You need to be mindful of their perception on the matter and treat their opinions with sensitivity and care. Imagine you were in their shoes. If someone was writing with you as an audience in mind and started ridiculing your beliefs and opinions, how would you feel? Would you continue reading? Would you think the writer is credible and an authoritative figure in the field? Does it come off as unprofessional when someone writes only with their own position in mind? Like in our earlier example, in which you're writing to dog owners about keeping the community clean by picking up after them. Would you write to them about how dogs are terrible, messy creatures, and they should really have indoor cats instead? No. If you are writing to get them to keep the community clean, you would need to offer the dog owners solutions that would work best for both them and the community while being mindful that they love their dogs. If we were to revise the attention grabber free puppies to fit this scenario, we would need to think of the activity of cleaning up after a dog to write an attention grabber that does work. Though, we are going to continue with the puppy, because puppies tug on the heartstrings of people who love dogs more efficiently. We need to connect the cleaning up after the puppy with the community, a group who is important to us as the writer. Cleaning up after the puppy is the action of taking care of the puppy, and it also takes care of the community, since it gets rid of waste that can cause harm to the community if left behind. So instead of free puppies, we could write, take care of your puppy and your community. But using take sounds demanding considering what is being written. If we cut that word out and write instead, care for your puppy and your community, it sounds softer, and it works as an attention grabber, and will not mislead your intended audience. It is best to respect your intended audience and keep them in mind when you write. When you do, you will be a better and more believable writer. If you want to know more about writing successfully, these resources can provide you more information